Sometimes someone has to go through an emergency unprepared before they truly accept the need to be prepared. Stick with me today to see how that affected the way we prepped this week. Hey guys, it's Jara with Wicked Prepared. If you're stopping by for the first time, welcome to the channel and to our community. Today I have a prepper pantry haul for you. You know, we're never really done prepping. We are always adding, changing, and improving our preps. But eventually we do get to a place where we start to feel pretty good with where we are, and we can start to turn our focus a little more on helping other people that we care about to be better prepared. That sentiment has driven the way I've been prepping lately. So let's get started and see what we have in today's haul. So some of these first items over here are some, like I mentioned earlier, that I picked up thinking of someone else. I have a family member who was not interested in preparedness at all. Don't we all have some family members like that? Not interested in preparedness until they went through an event that finally made it click for them. I think that's unfortunately what it takes for a lot of people to finally get it. They need to go through a situation for which they're woefully unprepared before they finally realize the value of being prepared. I, of course, have a whole story about what happened, but I'm not going to get into that today. I decided to put together a basic kit for my family member with the basic supplies that would have helped them get through that time. And this is really something that could help anyone who's just getting started with preparedness. So keep an eye out for this kit in an upcoming video. So let's take a look at what I've got here, especially if you're just getting started or if it's on your heart to help someone else get started. Maybe this will give you some ideas. So first I've got this Coleman butane stove and of course 3 cans of fuel. Those of you who watch my channel often probably recognize this stove. This is the same butane stove that I have that I use all the time when I'm demonstrating a meal, like if I'm making a meal in a jar or a meal in a bag and I'm cooking it up to show you how it comes together. So butane stoves are generally considered safe for cooking indoors. I'm sure this one probably has a warning not to use it indoors, but they're used by caterers. They're used in certain Asian countries, cook with butane indoors all the time. I of course recommend having a carbon monoxide detector handy at all times if you are using any type of alternative appliance indoors. But I cook indoors with my butane stove all the time. This is a very inexpensive stove. It's very powerful. It works really great. It's easy to use. It comes with a carrying case and a storage case that's really great. So I picked this up to add to my kit that I'm putting together. And I did get 3 cans of the Coleman butane fuel. I tend to stock up for myself on the no-name brands, but for a gift I just thought it would be nice to get the Coleman. And actually I think the price might have gone down on these. They were only around $2.96 at Walmart, I think. And I remember them being more than that. I don't think I've ever gotten the no-name brand for much less than $2 a can. So that's not too bad of a price. And this amount of fuel should last quite a while, especially doing really quick cooking emergency meals. And then behind here, I have a Mr. Heater Portable Buddy propane heater. We have the bigger version of this. This is a really great indoor safe heater. Once again, easy to operate, safe to use, has a lot of safety features. This is the 9000 BTU unit. This is their basic unit. They have a smaller one and they have a larger one. This one heats up to 225 square feet. So this is going to be really good for someone in a smaller space like an apartment. If you're trying to heat in a power outage, you always want to kind of section off a smaller area of the house to heat. But a heater like this can help keep your pipes from freezing. It can help keep your people from freezing. So these are really good to have on hand. Now this can be used with a grill tank if you have an adapter hose, but I know in an apartment they don't have a grill. They have no reason to store a big grill tank. So I got a 4-pack of these 1-pound canisters of propane. I thought this would be a little bit more appropriate. This does say 5.4 hours of runtime with a 1-pound cylinder, and you wouldn't need to run something like this constantly. You could run it just to warm the area, you know, on and off. So I think that this is a good start, and then they can add more canisters as they wish. Now I've got a few more things I'm going to be showing a little bit later that I also bought for this kit, but of course this isn't going to be all there is to it, but I'm not getting everything all at once for this. And I did get all of these at Walmart because they have a pretty good price and they're very accessible for me. So I'll have links for everything down in the description box below the video in case you want to check out these items for yourself. Next, I've got some things from Amazon. This little weekly pill organizer, I'm going to open this up and show you. What I really liked about this compared to other pill containers I've seen is that it actually is supposed to be waterproof or water resistant. You can see it's got a gasket around each of these compartments, and it has this little latch. So it's not just snapping shut like a lot of them do with plastic on plastic. So I've been thinking of these not only for daily vitamins, but also to organize things like supplement powders, especially when we travel, to be able to take along like daily portions instead of taking on a whole container of it. So I thought this might work better. I wouldn't worry about these popping open, and I wouldn't worry about them leaking powdered materials throughout our luggage, or you know, any place that I might have this. I could slide this in my backpack if I wanted to have something with me at all times. So I'm going to be trying this out for those purposes, and I'll probably grab a few more if it works well. I like that they're pretty big compartments, and like I said, I love the waterproof gasket and the latch. And then I've got a seasoning here. This is Suttons with saffron, so it's got that yellow color. This can be good for certain things like paella. This is a little bit, I have real saffron that I can use, but this is a little bit less expensive and less gourmet, I guess you would say. It's important to have lots of different seasonings on hand in your emergency pantry and your everyday pantry. I use a lot of different seasonings in my meals in a jar and things like that. So I'm always grabbing something new that I don't have. Now up here I have a package of these Wallaby MRE pouches. These are Mylar bags that are specially made for like single serve meals or 2 serving meals. I love getting Wallaby bags. Wallaby, you just know that they're good quality, and they always come with oxygen absorbers in the appropriate size for the bag that they are selling you. So I really, really love this company, and I love these MRE pouches. I use these all the time. So I really love Wallaby bags, and I really love these MRE pouches, and this is the only place I've ever found one like this. You can see that they're wide and short. They have a Ziploc, they have a gusseted bottom. You can add ingredients to these like you would for a meal in a jar, and then you can just pour water in, just like a backpacking meal, and let it set for a while. I just did a couple in my video last week. I did a hamburger rice oriental, and I did a Cuban pork and rice bowl, and they were really, really good. So this is a great solution if you want to make your own backpack meals or your own meals to throw in your bug out bag or keep in your car. They're great for college students. Anybody that might need a quick meal. We've been using these a lot when we travel. We throw some in our suitcase, whether they're ones that we bought commercially or ones that we made ourselves. And it can save us a lot of time and money when we're staying in a hotel. If we can just have something right in our hotel room, all we need is hot water and we don't have to go out. So I've been making a bunch of meals like this, so I got another pack of 30 of these MRE pouches. And next I got a can of these Goshen Farms potato gems. I had never tried these before. I usually get the potato pearls, and I was thinking these were pretty much the same thing. I like the potato pearls. They're not just powdered potato, they are like little balls. It's formed into little balls, and it has the seasoning and everything you need already in it. So unlike plain mashed potato flakes where you have to add milk and butter and salt, that's all included in these, which is why I really like them for emergencies, because you might not have milk and butter on hand, and they don't taste very good without it if they're just plain potatoes. So this brand had a really good price on sale. I compared it to the potato pearls that I usually buy, and it was a little bit less expensive. So I figured I'd try a can and see how they are, because these are obviously packaged up for long-term storage. They're not 25 years like a freeze-dried product would be, but they have a shelf life of 10 years. And a lot of that has to do with the packaging. When you purchase something that's in a can like this, and they've already put an oxygen absorber in, this is packaged up for you. When I buy my potato pearls, they're just in plastic bags. And for long-term storage, I would need to repackage those. So I figured I'd try these while they were on sale. If you're in my Wicked Prepared Deals and Steals group, I did post about this sale. I post about sales when I see them. So go ahead and check out that group if you want to stay up to date on some deals. And next I've got a couple little things down here. This is lever gear or lever gear. I don't know how you'd want to say that. But this is just a little accessory for charging things, charging your cell phone, charging flashlights, any gear you might have that needs to charge up. This is basically just like going to replace a cord. I hate bringing cords with me because you have to wrap them all up. They don't store and travel very well. They're not very convenient. So this has a little loop so you could put it on a keychain. And then it just has this, which is, it's flexible. So, but it's not as flexible as a cord, so you're not going to worry about it breaking as much. It's got USB-A on one end, USB-C on the other end. And then it does come with a lightning USB adapter. So you could throw this on the USB-C end and have a lightning cord if you needed it. Also in here, there's space to store some micro SD cards if you need to. And you can see there's a little tool for removing your little tray in your phone. And then you can store this whole thing. You could store it anywhere really, but you can hang it right on your keychain if you wanted, or hang it on your bag somewhere. And I was a little concerned about it being, but that does not seem to want to fall out. So I think it's going to be pretty secure. So this is going to be a really handy thing to have on hand. Number one, your cell phone is your most basic piece of EDC. It's a tool that you have with you all the time. It's your communication. It's your navigation. It's a lot of things. It's got light on it, all sorts of things. So you want to make sure you always can keep that charged. So sometimes having a cable can make all the difference if you can find a place to plug in, or if you have something with you. So this is just going to be a really important thing to have. And next I've got this little battery power card that I wanted to try out. It's a really cool concept. I'd like to test one out and make sure that they work like they're supposed to, but the problem with these is they're single use, which is kind of what's pretty cool about them. But once you've used it to see if it works, then it's done for. This is like a power charger for your phone. It is super, super slim. It's just, I mean, it's a little thicker than a credit card, but the idea is it takes up about the space of a credit card. You could slide it in your wallet, slide it in your pocket. It has a little charger pieces that pop right off, and it'll charge your cell phone one time. You can't recharge this, but this is something, it's got an 8-year shelf life. So it's something you could just have stashed away for those dire emergencies when you don't have a charger, or your charger dies, everything dies, and you really, really, really need to be able to use your phone or any other piece of equipment. This does also work with USB-C and lightning. So I'm going to test this out and see, you know, how it works. I might try to contact the company and see if they'd send me a couple for testing, because of, like I said, it's not exactly a cheap piece of equipment, and once it's used, it's used. So if I test it out, it's done for, but I don't like relying on something that I haven't checked out. Next here, I've got some more seasoning. This is another sazon with saffron. This is the packets. And sometimes these can be handy if you were putting it in like a meal in a bag or something where you only needed a certain amount. But I honestly didn't even realize when I was ordering these that this bulk and these packets are a different brand. So I'm not sure how they're going to compare in flavor. If you develop a recipe with one seasoning and then you change to something that's different, your recipe's not going to be the same. So I'm going to have to compare these and see how close they are, or if there's one or the other that we like better. But like I said, have a lot of seasoning on hand. Next, I have a box of Minute Rice Jasmine rice. Minute rice is also known as instant rice. It's rice that's been cooked and dehydrated. So instead of having to cook for 20 minutes or whatever, it just has to soak in boiling water. Basically, about 10 minutes, it's completely finished. So it's really great for emergencies. I use it in a lot of my jar meals and things like that. Instant rice works very well in those Mylar meal pouches I showed you, because you're just pouring in boiling water. You're not going to be cooking it on a stove. So these work really great. I buy my regular Minute Rice in really big bulk packages. This Jasmine rice version is only available in this small 12-ounce box. So I grab, you know, one every so often so that I can build up a supply that way. Then back here, I've got a few things that I purchased in bulk. These are shelf-stable ravioli, and these are actually pretty cool. Cheese and truffle ravioli. This brand I actually learned about from my friend Natasha over at the Budget Preppers. And I went onto Amazon and I found they have mushroom tortellini, and they have these cheese and truffle ravioli. So they're really pretty good. I've been buying some of their varieties in a large case, but I'd only been able to get the cheese and truffle in a 2-pack, which wasn't the most economical way to purchase it. So I finally found a good deal. They were on sale for a case of this flavor. So I grabbed it. Now, if you have a Big Lots near you, some people have been finding this brand at their Big Lots. I checked the one that is closest to me and I haven't found it yet. I don't live really close, so I can't go super often. But if you can find it at Big Lots, it's probably a better deal. But if not, look for deals on these large cases on Amazon. These are great because they are shelf stable. They don't need refrigeration, so I can use these in my meals in a jar and things like that. And then I got a pack, another 12-pack of these wide lo mein noodles. I've been buying a lot of these lately because we've been using a lot of these. And I think pasta is a really great item for your prepper pantry because it really has a really long shelf life, even though they're not going to put that long expiration on the package. It's going to last quite a long time. We've been making one dish with these noodles and it uses 2 packs at a time. So I've been using a lot of these, so I've been replacing them pretty rapidly. And next I got a case of these wild mushroom and herb couscous. I really like these couscous for emergency preparedness, and not only that, but also quick meals, because these, just like the minute rice, they only basically need boiling water. You boil your water, you dump in the couscous, take it off the heat, put the lid on it for 5 minutes, and it's done. So if you were in an emergency and had to cook quickly, didn't have a lot of fuel, or you know, whatever the case may be, these would be great. I always buy the curry flavor, love the curry flavor. I finally decided that I should try some of the other flavors and see if I like them just as well. And I do love mushrooms, so I grabbed this wild mushroom and herb to try. This is a case of 12. It was a really good deal. I got 2 other flavors here. I got a Parmesan and a roasted garlic with olive oil. Those weren't available in the case at the time I was ordering. So I figured I would just grab 1 of each and give them a try, see how we like them. And if we like them, we'll keep an eye out for the case. The next thing I've got right here is... these are some bags. I don't know what material they're made out of. I don't know if this is nylon. They're actually made for Kratky gardening or Kratky hydroponic gardening, which you would do in mason jars or glass jars, and you need to keep them dark. So these are meant to cover a mason jar and keep the light out. And I just thought, for my meals in a jar, you know, I'll tell you, you're supposed to store your meals in a jar in a dark place, because the glass jars are clear, so they let light in, and light can damage the nutrients in your food, and it can strip the color out of some of the vegetables, which is not pleasant. So typically you would keep your jar meals in a closet with no windows or a cupboard, something like that. But I thought for times when I have to keep mine out, I can't put them behind like a closed door or someplace, then I thought these might come in handy. I thought they might actually help prevent breakage as well, but they're not as padded as I thought they might be. It's really a pretty thin fabric, but they do a great job of blocking out the light. And they were pretty inexpensive as well. This is I think I got a dozen for about $10, so less than $1 a piece. And of course they're reusable. So I thought I might give these a try. And next I've got this collapsible water bottle. It's important to always have a water container on you so that you can gather water, treat water if you're in an emergency, even just to have water if you're not in an emergency, if you're traveling or something. A collapsible water bottle can be good. This one I liked because it's a really pretty thin package once it's collapsed. I've seen other collapsible water bottles that don't collapse down as thin. This one has the carabiner clip that you can use to attach it onto your backpack or whatever, your purse, anything like that. It has a weird rubber gasket lid. It doesn't have a screw-on lid. That's one thing I'm not sure about. But this is how it stands up. So it's pretty sturdy for one that's collapsible. And it has a nice solid thing here that you can grip onto it. I'm not sure about the lid, and I'm not sure about the fact that how wide the bottom is. It probably won't fit down into a water bottle pocket on a backpack or anything like that. So I'll probably test this out a little bit, decide if I want to keep it or not. But I do love that it collapses into a really small package. And like I said, it has this carabiner clip, so it might not be a deal breaker that it probably won't fit into a drink pocket on a backpack. But we'll see what we think about this. Next, I got this big bottle of, I'm not even sure how to say this, but it's basically a dewormer. And this can be used on a lot of different creatures. It can be used on dogs. We have 6 dogs, so that's really why I bought this. Sometimes it's less expensive if you can buy something in bulk and kind of treat your animals yourself. Of course, that's something that you should do under the supervision of a veterinarian or someone who knows what they're doing. This one actually gives dosing for humans, for children and adults. So this can actually also be used on humans. I don't think my children have pinworms, but this would be something that would be a good thing to have on hand in emergencies also if you couldn't get medical care. You never know when you might need something like this. And next I got some power banks. I've got a couple of these Charmast, and then I've got this one over here. They're very similar, but they're different. The Charmast are ones that I've been buying for quite a while. I've bought quite a few of these, not because anything happens to them. They don't stop working, but we tend to lose them. I've got teenagers, you know, something falls out of their pocket or whatever, but I'm going to go ahead and open these up, a couple of these up, so I can show you the differences and what I like about them. You can see that they come in different colors. So this is purple. This is the one that's different. And then I've got navy and pink. These were on sale recently, and those different colors were different prices. So I basically grabbed what was navy was the cheapest. It's not a color I would have typically picked, but it was the cheapest sale price. So I grabbed it because it really doesn't matter what color they are. And then of course I like pink and purple. So here are the two different kinds of power banks. The Charmast, these are the ones that I have used for years. I know I like them. I know they work well. What I love about these is they are pretty slim. They're about the size of a cell phone, so they're easy to carry around with you, but they have the charging prongs built into them that fold right down flat and stay out of your way. And they also have cables built into them. They have the lightning cable, and they have the USB-C and the micro USB. So all the cables you might need are built right into them, and they tuck right into these spots on the side so they stay out of the way. And you don't have to worry about carrying a long cord around with you and wrapping it up. This is one sleek package. These are 10,000 milliamp hours. So these charge my phone at least fully once, probably more than that. That's the main difference with this one, is that this is a 20 milliamp hours. This is a different brand I haven't tried before, so I'm going to have to test it out, but you can see it's a bit thicker. It's probably twice as thick, and it's heavier. So it's not as portable. This might be something you could carry around in your backpack maybe, but this one, you know, I would put in my purse, I would put in my jacket pocket. Both of them have a digital display, so it's going to tell you exactly how much battery is left, and not some brands that just have, you know, 4 lights that light up to tell you about how much battery is left. So I like that. So this one has the same. It has all the different cables, and it has the pop-out prongs. It's just bigger and heavier, but it has twice the battery capacity. So the Charmast is my tried and true. We've used these for years, and they work really great. This one I'm going to test and see how it is. But like I said, it's always important to be able to charge your device. Your cell phone is what we mostly think of, but you could be charging up anything else. You could be charging up a little flashlight or anything that you have that needs to be charged. So this is a really important piece of gear to have on hand. And next I got some Thrive Life items. This was one small haul that I got. I got a case of these sausage crumbles, which is 6 of these gallon-sized cans. I got a case of the green chilies, which is 10 of these smaller cans that are about quart size. And then I got a couple more of the smaller cans and a couple of the meals. So I'll talk about these cans first. This, of course, is sausage crumbles. So this is already cooked, already crumbled, all ready to go, and freeze dried. So it's going to last 25 years. I use these in my jar meals. We use these in quick breakfast and things that we need. This is kind of a mild general purpose sausage. I've used it in breakfast dishes and supper dishes. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of extra sausage seasoning that's Italian or breakfast, or you know, whatever type of sausage I want to add a little bit of extra flavor. But this has a shelf life of 25 years when it's sealed in the can, and once you open it you have a year to use it up, so that's really great. Like I said, I use this in my meals in a jar. We take it camping. You can do backpacking meals or meals to take on hunting trips, anything like that, in the Mylar pouches like I showed you. Just all around great. Of course, the green chilies are more of a seasoning. These are not really spicy. These are the pretty mild green chilies, just like the ones you would get in the small can at the grocery store and throw in a lot of your dishes. And then I got these couple other small cans. I usually purchase most of my food in the larger cans when I can because it's more economical, but these are for the kit that I'm putting together. So these are for someone else, and they're just really supposed to be to get someone through a short time. So I've got the instant milk and chicken slices here. This is my favorite chicken. This is really, really good freeze-dried chicken. And if you've never tried freeze-dried meats, you've got to try it because it's kind of life-changing. If you're used to just having canned meats in your emergency food storage, this will completely change things for you. And then the last thing I got here is a couple of these meal pouches. These are kind of like the backpacking meals that I was talking about making, but these are just already made. These have a 20-year shelf life. You just add boiling water and let them set, and they're ready to go. These pouches, they're 3-serving pouches, but typically, you know, unless you don't eat a lot, you'd probably get 2 servings out of these, but they are a lot of food. They're definitely 2 servings unless you're one very, very hungry large man. So these are also going to go in my kit that I'm putting together for my family member. This is something that I know they'll like, but also these were on sale last month, so they were a really good price. So I have a lot of these meals that we keep for ourselves, but I thought I'd grab a couple fresh ones when they were on sale to include in my kit. Now over here I've got a few regular grocery items. These are from one of our semi-local grocery stores. They had a really good sale. The Life cereal, my kids love it. That's my kids' probably favorite cereal, and it's one of the healthier cereals that, you know, really appeals to kids, I think. So I think I got 15 boxes of this because it was on sale. You can keep cereal in your prepper pantry. If you're going to store it for, you know, longer than a couple of years, I would say put it into mason jars, glass mason jars, and either vacuum seal it or use some oxygen absorbers. I've never taken the time to do that because my kids go through cereal too fast. I do try to stock up so we have, you know, a good supply on hand if anything were to happen, but it's not going to be sitting around my house for years and years and years. So I've never done that, but you can do that if you want to store your cereal and make sure that it's going to last longer. I also grabbed 4 packages of pasta, and that's just because that was the limit on this deal because it was a really good deal. It was 25 cents a box. So in this day and age, to get pasta for 25 cents a box, I grabbed the limit. Now, if I would have been on my game and had a little bit more time and actually knew these were on sale, because I wasn't really prepared for this trip, I just ran in for the cereal, happened to see this sale, but we do have other household members who have their own accounts, and I could have gotten 4 boxes for each of those accounts as well, but I didn't. I just got the 4. Now, it was a difficult decision because I could only get 4. We have plenty of pasta, you know, on hand in our food storage. We have, I want to say, probably hundreds of pounds of pasta, but I typically buy whole wheat pasta when I can. So of course the whole wheat wasn't included in this sale. So I only got pasta shapes that we use, but I can't get in whole wheat. So these bow ties, I don't think I've ever found these in whole wheat. So usually we have the plain. The small shells, I would use these for usually pasta salads. Rigatoni is something that we like to use, and I don't find that in whole grain. And then the fettuccine, because spaghetti I would get in whole wheat. But for 25 cents for a pound of pasta, I thought that was a great deal. So I definitely had to grab some. Keep an eye out for sales if you're trying to build up your food stockpile for a little bit less money. Sales are great, and things like pasta are really inexpensive already, and they can really last a long time. So they're really a great item to have in your prepper pantry. Now over here, I've got some of these. These were on clearance at Walmart. Obviously, these are pill pockets. I have used these for my dogs and I love these, but they are expensive if you have to give your pet medicine. These work really well for dogs. I've never tried them for cats, but they were marked down to $1. So I thought that was a great deal and I had to grab a bunch. I do sometimes have to give pills to our cats and it is really difficult. So if these work for the cats, this is going to be well worth it. And I thought if they don't work for the cats, I might actually be able to use these for my dogs. My dogs do like cat treats, so they might go for these, and maybe I'll have to mush 2 of them together. Who knows? For anyone who doesn't know what pill pockets are, they mold around the pill that you have to give to your pet. And not only is it something tasty like a treat that makes them want to eat it, but I swear there's something about the texture that gives them the urge to swallow, to just swallow it down. So the pill goes down without them realizing that there's something in there. So it works better, or at least it's been my experience that it works better than like wrapping it up in some cheese or bread or a hot dog or whatever else you might use to hide their pills. And besides that, these are shelf stable, so you can always have them on hand where you might not always have some of those other things, especially in an emergency. I thought this was worth having because you definitely want to make sure that you are prepped for your pets if you have them. Of course, we have pets. We love our pets like their family. So you want to make sure that if an emergency situation happens, you have what you're going to need for your pets. So for us, that includes having extra food on hand. It includes having first aid kit and supplies for our animals. It involves having things that we would need to grab and go if we had to evacuate or leave our home and we were able to bring our pets. I will be doing some videos at some point in the near future on prepping for your pets because I know a lot of you have them and they're very important to us, and we need to make sure that we're taking care of them just like we're taking care of ourselves. If you have pets, let me know down in the comments what you have for pets, what their names are, and what you do to prepare for them. If you're a pet lover and you're interested in making sure that you're prepped for your pets, text the word pets to my number you'll see at the bottom of the screen so we can keep you up to date with pet prepping videos and information that we have coming up, as well as special offers from some of our pet partners that we work with here at Wicked Prepared. And then the final thing I have here are these 2 sets of storage containers. These are made by Iris, plastic company that does plasticware. These are really big. I can't remember the capacities of these 2 sets, but I'll put them on the screen in the video. I'll look it up. So I really like these because they're really good for, these are actually meant for pet food, I believe, since we're talking about pets, but they're food safe plastic, so they are okay for storing human food. Each of these comes as a set of 2. There's a smaller one and a larger one. You can see here that there's a little indent that this top box fits right into, so they stack really well, so they're not going to come apart. I mean, they're not just going to fall apart. They come apart when you lift them. But they have a nice latch to close them, and if you look inside, they have a gasket around the lid. You can see it here. So that's going to make them pretty airtight and impervious to moisture and air getting in and things like that. I don't think these are really appropriate for super long-term storage. Like unless you put Mylar bags inside, you could certainly put filled Mylar bags inside of these. But let me know if you've ever used these for more of a long-term storage item. I don't think they'd be great for storage longer than a few years, but I could be wrong on that. Now, what we use these for a lot right now is a lot of the items that we make our homemade poultry feed out of. If you saw my video on that, there's a lot of grains and legumes and things that we store to make that food. So these work really well to store those and to be able to get into them and mix up the food. And I might actually switch to putting our dog food in these. But like I said, you can keep other foods in them like flour or rice or sugar or other foods that you need to store because they are food safe plastic. You can either store them stacked or you can remove the top baskets and store these on a shelf and just store the larger ones on the floor so that you can get into them without having to remove that top basket. They do have casters. The casters right now are inside these upper baskets, and they also come with a scoop that's really handy. So each set comes with 1 set of casters for the large container and the 1 scoop. So we have a bunch of these, and I just wanted to add a few more. They're kind of a more expensive item, so I kind of just have to add to our supply slowly over time instead of buying a whole bunch all at once. Okay guys, that's what we've added to our preps this week, as well as some things we picked up to help someone else be better prepared, and hopefully to get them started on their own journey to preparedness. Because after all, the whole driving point of preparedness is self-reliance, really. It's setting yourself up so you don't have to depend on anyone else, not the government, not a family member, not charity, just yourself. Do you have someone in your life who you're preparing for or helping prepare? Whether it may be giving them items or stocking extra in your own home, knowing that's where they're going to be heading when times get tough, or just someone you wish would get serious about prepping for themselves. Let me know down in the comments. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, say hi with a wave emoji down in the comments, and watch this video next to see how I put together a blackout box for our family. I'm Jera with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.